So today I want to do a makeup look that really honors my fair olive undertone. I have a tendency to really go for more like depth and a little bit more vibrancy when it comes to my makeup looks. But sometimes I look back on footage and really feel like there's a certain kind of energy and vibe that feels really kind of beautiful and soft when I just take it down a notch. So today is really going to be trying to lean into shades like this, these really soft, desaturated mauve type of shades, and just keep things a little bit more chill. Sometimes I gaslight myself into being like, do I really have an olive undertone? But then I'll be doing my makeup like in the daylight and see this green happening like in my hands, in my chest, and I'm like, okay, no, you do have it. And it's something I'm kind of still experimenting with, some of my best colors. And I believe you can use all kinds of colors in makeup and clothing to create any kind of effect you want. But sometimes you want a look that feels just really seamless and really just kind of accentuates your features without being like the center of attention. So that's my plan for today, just keeping things a little bit more stripped back. It's going to be glowy, glossy, the eyes a little bit sparkly. So that's the plan for today. Keep on watching if you want to see more. I'm going to start with some glowy skin. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Really all over the cheeks. Still my favorite glow product. A little bit on the nose and a little bit here. But I do have like lines here, so I'm going to be mindful not to blend it too much into the lines because that's where product can kind of build up. And the same goes for just like trying not to get too much shine right here. In fact, I already almost did a little bit, but just move outward. And then so blending like this way, so I'm not blending up into those lines. I'm going to use concealer first today. This is a technique I turn to sometimes when I don't want to use too much foundation because like the kind of main coverage is already done. So just some concealer in my like problem areas, which is always right here where there's old scarring. Just like starting to get coverage on any blemishes. One of you pointed out that a lot of people seem to be expressing that they feel or have concluded that they have an olive undertone, like as a fair person. I think that's kind of true in some ways because I don't know who started it, but I think there's a lot of people noticing how neutral foundations can be like way too pink and then warm foundations like way too saturated and yellow. And when you can find like an olive undertone foundation that's fair, it's like the first time you discover that something matches your neck. Although we were sort of talking about it, I think part of it is also just like oversaturation of concealers and foundations. Like it's hard to get a fair shade that honors like a lack of pigment without being too pale too though. It's hard to explain. But now I'm gonna go in with my olive foundation from Lisa Eldridge. I've heard tell that this is restocking in March. I mean, everything's like decently covered right now, but this is going to be what's just going to give a nice evenness all over, and I get to like top it off with the olive tone. Even the first concealer, just a touch saturated for my skin tone right now in the winter. A bit of brightening concealer under the eye, a bit on the nose as well, and the eyelids to prep for eyeshadow. A bronzer shade that I find pretty suitable for my complexion is Rare Beauty Bright Side. Not too cool, not too warm. And I do have a fairly neutral undertone, I feel. So that's why a shade like this is perfect for me. And today it is about just a soft application. I think my skin maybe leans a touch warm, but like I can wear cool shades as long as they're not too cool and dark. I mean, I can wear whatever I want, but you know what I mean. Also, it's not too warm that I can't like put it under the jawline a little. I did my brows off camera. Now I'm going to move on to blush. So I have this shade Office Hours from Tower 28. Though this kind of looks like the perfect shade to me in the pan, sometimes I find it translates a little peachy. So I'm going to like kind of nude it up or brown it up with KJH brand Soft Raisin. You can see it's like a little bit darker. So what I think I'll do is start with Soft Raisin as the base and then just add a little bit of Office Hours on top. Even that, like, I'm always surprised how peachy things translate. I don't know what the science is there. Like, I feel like I want something more like a muted rose mauve. Just gonna see how Office Hours layers. This one's a bit creamier. See, it just goes so peach. What? It's okay. Now some powder. I'm going to use the Katie Jane Hughes hack, or at least she explained this on her Instagram, how when you're using a loose powder, it's a good idea to really get it into the brush. So the powder's not like sitting on top of it. This will prevent like over powdering where like you notice your skin suddenly looks dry rather than like silky and matte. So I'm just doing that, just really getting it in there. And I've been using this hack the past couple days and finding it works pretty well. Highlighter, I'm going to go in with Sigma Sizzle. It's a nice neutral highlighter. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. It's like a kind of bronzy shade, but like it's not too dark or anything. The lips is especially where I find I always end up kind of darkening it up a bit more, and I do really love how that looks, but today I just want to try something stripped back. Like I'm gonna go in with this liner from Makeup Forever, Wherever Walnut. I used to use this all the time when I was getting into makeup, but I almost never use it because I like a darker liner, but today I want to keep it toned down. Kind of goes nicely with the blush. Now I want to use a little bit of Love Ya Back Talk from Urban Decay. This is actually described as a warm mauve, which is perfect for me because you get the complementary mauve of the olive, but then the slightly warm. So I just want to use a little bit of this at a time to see how the color looks like. It can sheer out kind of exactly like the blush. Like this is a much kind of softer type of pinky mauve than I go for normally. Like I'd say the liner's maybe just a touch warm for it, but that's okay. Okay, I have to tell myself this is an exercise in restraint because I want to put more on and I want to put on a darker lip line, but I will not. I will, however, put a gloss on, and this one is from Kaleidos. I've been loving the Kaleidos glosses, and this is quite a kind of muted down grayish mauve, and I'd like to layer that one on top. Now for the eyeshadow, I do want to keep things very neutral, like not leaning too warm, not leaning too cool. So the two shades I'm going to start with are these ones from Natasha Denona, I Need a Nude. I'm going to put this one all over the eyelids softly at first, and I'm kind of loosely following like the way Korean eyeshadow trends look, which is very soft, very ethereal, and not too complicated, but there are some really nice kind of placements on the eyelid that I find very pretty. Yeah, this is like the perfect starting shade. I'm also going to take this a little bit under the lash line, just starting to get a touch of depth there. Now, rather than going for like kind of a creasing depth, I'm going to add a bit of a gradient so that it starts to get depth like from here to here, rather than like focusing it more here. So I'm taking a flatter style brush and going in with this slightly darker taupe, patting this all along the lash line. And then here. I feel like Korean like style eyeshadow. It's less about like structure and like playing with kind of different colors and more like just getting this really soft blend that never goes too dark. I'm gonna use like this side instead of angling it to get a little bit more like of a line here. Restraint, restraint. Don't go too heavy-handed. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with this for a bit of a brightening effect. This can really go all in this area. Actually, that's a little bit not that bright on my complexion. That's okay. And now a very soft wing. I'm gonna go in with this darkest shade here. And the wing really starts quite farther out, like here. And it's just like a soft extension. I'm not even using a angled brush. This is like a flat shader, like kind of smaller. And that's kind of it. Now I'm using an angled brush and just like a tiny bit of that eyeshadow. I'm gonna add a little bit of definition there. But nothing obvious, like it kind of just looks like the lash line naturally. Now I'm gonna go in with like a transparent style glitter. So this one here called Sheen. And this is gonna go on the lid, but also a little bit on the lower lash line, like close to the inner corner. But I'm definitely gonna use a glitter glue with this. I think this one will really benefit from a glitter glue. So a little bit there and a little bit there. In fact, I might use a brush for the lower lash line. Just pressing this soft sparkle. So pretty. Look for anything like more transparent so that it's not adding much pigment to the lid. And then I'm using a brush to get it right here. And I think that's it. I'm gonna pop off camera to do my lashes and put a little bit of this creamy color in the waterline and assess where we're at. Have I held myself back enough, or is this just right? So I will be one moment. And this is the finished makeup look. For lashes, I literally put the tiniest little wisp on right at the end, like barely noticeable, just enough to add like that little extra volume with a velour. This is the classic lash. I used the short one. So subtle, but I just did want to keep the lashes very minimal because today was about keeping things just a little bit more pared back. Now I'm really liking this. I feel like it's gonna grow on me. Like my instinct is always to like get a darker lip line, get a little bit more depth, but sometimes it's nice to keep things a little bit more moderate. I am filming this on Valentine's Day, so I do feel like having something really kind of cute and fresh, and I feel like this is giving it. It's funny though, because I'll look back on my footage and be like, oh, that looks kind of different than I thought when I'm like staring at myself in a little mirror, you know? But I really hope this was maybe helpful for anybody with a similar skin tone and how like colors might translate. I think this is a great like soft glam, really. And yeah, I feel like everything just kind of looks harmonious. Nothing's too much or too little. It's, yeah, just kind of the perfect amount for something a little bit more moderate, in my opinion. So yeah, I hope you guys like this kind of video today. Just really getting into makeup instead of any kind of theme. I kind of like to balance it out with sometimes just makeup tutorials, sometimes something really thematic, and getting a little bit of storytelling in there too. Let me know how you've been liking the kind of content switches, or if there's something you prefer more, maybe, I don't know. But I do kind of like resetting with like different types of content, because otherwise I might burn out creatively, you know? Sometimes you just gotta sit and have some fun with makeup. So that's it for today. Toasty, let's take it away. Very good boy. Thank you guys for watching till the end. Really, really helps support the channel. I always say that, but I just want you guys to know. And if you want to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new here, definitely helps as well. And until next time, may you all find yourselves a little bit of makeup magic, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, witches.